Every single summer, the heat catches people off guard, and every single summer, it's older folks who pay the highest price for it. That's not me trying to frighten you, it's simply the plain truth that doctors in emergency rooms see played out year after year. As we age, our bodies become less able to handle extreme heat. We don't feel thirst as sharply as we used to, we sweat less efficiently, and many of the medications we take can quietly make heat even harder on the body. So when a real heat wave rolls in, the danger is genuine and it builds faster than most people realize. But here's the good news, and it's the reason I made this video. Getting ready for the heat is cheap, it's simple, and almost all of it can be done with a handful of inexpensive items you pick up before the hot weather ever arrives, while they're still in stock and still affordable. Because here's the thing nobody tells you. The moment the first big heat wave hits the news, the fans sell out. The cooling supplies vanish and the prices on what's left climb fast. The smart move, the one that keeps you safe and saves you money, is to quietly stock up now before everyone else is scrambling. So today I'm going to walk you through 11 cheap items every senior should have on hand before the heat waves hit. None of them costs much, all of them could matter enormously. And the very last one is the most important of all, the one that could genuinely save a life on the hottest day of the year. Stay with me to the end for that one, let's go. Number 11, plenty of drinking water. Let's start with the most basic and most important thing of all, because in extreme heat, hydration is everything. When the temperature climbs, your body loses fluid faster than you feel it leaving, and for older adults whose thirst signal has quietly grown weaker over the years, dehydration can sneak up before you ever feel thirsty at all. And dehydration in a senior isn't a small thing. It can bring on dizziness, confusion, weakness, and the kind of unsteadiness that leads straight to a fall. So stock up on bottled water or fill clean containers from the tap, and keep far more on hand than you think you'll need before the heat ever arrives. Keep a bottle within easy reach of your chair and your bed, so sipping regularly becomes automatic. Now, one honest note, if your doctor has you on a fluid limit for your heart or kidneys, follow their guidance closely on this. But for most of us, the rule in a heat wave is simple: drink steadily all day long before you feel like you need it. Number 10, electrolyte powder or packets. Plain water is good, but when you're sweating heavily in real heat, water alone isn't quite enough because you're also losing salts and minerals your body needs to function. That's exactly what electrolyte powders and packets are for, and they're cheap, they store for ages, and they mix right into a glass of water. They help your body actually hold onto the fluid you're drinking instead of running straight through you, and they help ward off the headaches, cramps, and weakness that come with the early stages of heat trouble. Keep a box on hand and use one when the day is especially hot, or you've been more active than usual. Again, if you're managing a health condition that affects your salt or fluid intake. Check with your doctor first, but for most seniors, an electrolyte drink on a brutal day is a simple, smart bit of protection. Number 9, battery-powered or rechargeable fans. Here's where stocking up early really pays off, because the very moment a heat wave hits, fans are the first thing to sell out everywhere, and the prices on whatever's left tend to jump. A good battery-powered or rechargeable fan is worth its weight in gold, because it keeps the air moving and helps your body cool itself, and crucially, it keeps working even if the power goes out, which is exactly when you need it most. A small handheld one for your chair, a larger one for the room, both are cheap and both make a real difference. Buy them now while they're plentiful and affordable, and keep them charged and ready. When the heat arrives and everyone else is staring at empty shelves, you'll be glad you thought ahead. Number 8, cooling towels. This is one of those simple, inexpensive items that most people have never tried and swear by once they do. A cooling towel is a special cloth that, when you wet it and wring it out, stays cool for a surprisingly long time and draped around the back of your neck or across your forehead. It brings real, fast relief on a sweltering day. The back of the neck is one of the best spots to cool, because so much blood flows close to the surface there, so cooling it helps cool your whole body. They cost very little, they last for years, and they need no power at all, which makes them perfect for a power outage during a heat wave. Pick up 2 or 3, keep one in the freezer or the fridge for an extra cold version, and you've got cheap, effective cooling ready whenever you need it. Number 7, sunscreen. Don't overlook this one, because older skin is thinner and more vulnerable to the sun than it used to be. And a sunburn doesn't just hurt. It makes it harder for your body to cool itself and adds another layer of stress on a hot day. A good sunscreen is cheap insurance anytime you step outside in summer, even just to sit on the porch or walk to the mailbox. Look for a broad spectrum one, put it on anytime you'll be in the sun, and reapply it if you're out for a while. Stock a bottle or two before summer, because it's exactly the kind of thing that gets picked over and marked up once the hot weather is in full swing. Protecting your skin is protecting your whole self. Number 6. Light, loose clothing and a wide-brimmed hat. What you wear matters far more in the heat than most people give it credit for. Light-colored, loose-fitting clothing and breathable fabrics like cotton lets the air move against your skin and reflects the sun instead of trapping its heat against you. A wide-brimmed hat shades your face, your neck, and your head, where so much heat comes in, and it's far better than a cap that leaves your neck exposed. None of this has to be expensive, you very likely have much of it already, and a good sun hat costs only a few dollars. The point is simply to have the right things ready and within reach before the heat arrives, so that dressing for safety becomes second nature on the hot days ahead. If this is the kind of practical, take care of yourself information you came here for, a quick like genuinely helps this channel reach other seniors and the families who worry about them through the hot months. It's completely up to you, but it truly does help a small channel keep going. Now let's get to the top 5, because these are the ones that matter most when the heat gets truly dangerous. Number 5, a spray bottle or mister. Here's a wonderfully cheap trick our grandparents knew well. A simple spray bottle filled with cool water, misted over your face, your arms, and the back of your neck brings instant relief on a hot day, and it works even better. That's paired with that fan we talked about, because the moving air evaporates the water and carries the heat away from your skin. It costs almost nothing, it uses no power, and you can keep one in every room. On the worst days, a light misting every little while keeps your body temperature down without you having to do anything strenuous at all. Pick up a couple of spray bottles now, keep them filled, and you've got one of the oldest and simplest cooling tools there is, ready to go. Number 4, easy no-cook foods. Here's a connection people don't always make. Cooking heats up your home, and on a brutally hot day, running the stove or the oven turns your kitchen into a furnace and makes the whole house harder to bear. So before the heat hits, stock up on foods that need little or no cooking at all. Things like canned goods, bread, peanut butter, crackers, nuts, fruit, and anything else you can eat cool and simple. Not only does this keep your home cooler, it means you'll still eat properly on the days when the heat saps your appetite and your energy, which matters, because skipping meals in a heat wave only makes you weaker. Keep a little stash of easy, cooling, no-cook meals ready, and you'll stay fed and stay cool at the same time. Number 3, an insulated water bottle or a small cooler. Keeping your water actually cold makes a real difference, both because cold water helps cool you from the inside and because you're far more likely to keep drinking when it's pleasant to drink. An inexpensive insulated bottle keeps your water cold for hours, even sitting beside you in a warm room. And a small cooler with some ice lets you keep cold drinks and a cool cloth right where you're resting, so you don't have to keep getting up and down to the fridge in the heat. These are cheap, they last for years, and they make staying hydrated and cool far easier on the days it matters most. Have them ready before the hot weather, not after. Number 2, window coverings to block the sun. Here's one of the most effective and most overlooked ways to keep your home cool, and it costs very little. A tremendous amount of heat pours into a house through sunny windows, and simply blocking that sun makes a real measurable difference in how hot your rooms get. Blackout curtains, blinds, or even inexpensive reflective film for the windows that get the most sun can keep your home noticeably cooler without running the air conditioning harder, which also saves you money on the power bill. No small thing on a fixed income. The trick is to close them during the hottest part of the day, especially on the sunny side of the house. Set this up before summer and your home stays cooler all season long for almost nothing. And number 1, the most important of all, a real plan to stay cool when it counts and someone to check on you. This is the one that can genuinely save a life, so please hear me out. All the items we've talked about help, but in a severe heat wave, especially if the power goes out, the single most important thing is knowing where you'll go to stay cool and making sure you're not facing it alone. So plan this out now, while it's calm. Know which room in your home stays coolest. Know where the nearest air-conditioned public place is, a library, a senior center, a shopping center, or an official cooling center, and how you'd get there if your own home became too hot to bear safely. And most important of all, arrange now with a family member or a neighbor that someone will check on you, in person, every day during a heat wave. So many heat tragedies among older adults happen to people who were alone and simply couldn't tell how much trouble they were in. Learn the warning signs of heat illness too. Dizziness, nausea, a headache, confusion, or suddenly stopping sweating, and treat them as now as the emergency they are. A plan and a person who's looking out for you, arranged today over a cup of coffee, is worth more than everything else on this list combined. Now let me give you a simple daily routine for a heat wave that ties all of these items together, because owning them is one thing and using them well is quite another. Start your day early, before the worst of the heat sets in, and get anything done that needs doing. A few small chores, a little gentle movement, a step outside for some air, while it's still cool enough to do so comfortably. Then, as the day begins to heat up, close those window coverings on the sunny side of the house to keep the worst of it out and settle yourself into the coolest room you have. Keep a fan running near you and a cool, damp cooling towel draped around the back of your neck. Sip water steadily all day long, not in big desperate gulps when you suddenly feel parched, but a little and often, the way that actually keeps you hydrated, with an electrolyte drink mixed in during the hottest stretches. Eat light, cool, no-cook meals so you're neither heating up the house nor taxing your body to digest something heavy. Reach for that spray bottle and mist your face and arms the moment you start to feel too warm. And through the hottest hours of the afternoon, simply rest, stay still, stay cool, and don't push yourself to do anything strenuous. In the evening, once things cool down a little, open up the windows if it's safe to do so, and let the cooler air move through. That gentle, steady rhythm, repeated through each day of a heat wave, is exactly how older folks safely rode out brutal summers, long before anyone ever had air conditioning at all. And here are a few more things worth knowing that can genuinely make all the difference when the temperature climbs. Many common medications, including some for blood pressure, for the heart, and the water pills so many of us take, can quietly make you more vulnerable to the heat by changing how your body sweats and holds on to fluid. So it's well worth asking your doctor or pharmacist whether anything you take calls for extra caution in hot weather. Never ever leave yourself or a pet sitting in a parked car even for a few short minutes in summer, because the temperature inside one climbs to deadly levels astonishingly fast, far faster than people ever expect. Keep your phone charged and close at hand at all times during a heat wave so that you can call for help or reach a loved one quickly the moment you start to feel unwell. And above all, learn to recognize the warning signs that the heat is getting the better of you. A pounding headache, dizziness, nausea, muscle cramps, sudden confusion, a racing heartbeat, or skin that's gone hot and dry because you've actually stopped sweating altogether. Treat any one of those as the real emergency it is. Cool yourself down right away, get fluids into you, and call for help without a moment's hesitation. Your body almost always gives you these warnings before things turn truly serious, and simply knowing them and respecting them is half the battle already won. And please don't keep all of this to yourself either. If you have an older neighbor, a friend, or a family member who lives alone, the kindest thing you can possibly do during a heat wave is simply to check on them and to ask them to check on you in return. A 2-minute phone call or a knock on the door each day costs absolutely nothing. And during a dangerous stretch of heat, that simple habit has saved more lives among older folks than any gadget or gizmo ever could. Heat is a quiet sort of danger, the kind that creeps up on you while you're alone and genuinely unsure how much trouble you might be in. And a caring voice on the other end of the line, asking how you're holding up, is one of the simplest and most powerful protections there is. So there are your 11. Plenty of drinking water, electrolyte packets, battery-powered fans, cooling towels, sunscreen, light clothing, and a sun hat. A spray bottle, easy no-cook foods, an insulated bottle or small cooler, window coverings to block the sun, and most important of all, a real plan to stay cool with someone checking on you. Not one of these will break the bank, and gathered together before the heat arrives, they turn a dangerous season into a manageable one. Pick up a few on your next trip, focus first on water, a fan, and your cooling plan, and build the rest as you go. The people who sail safely through a brutal summer aren't lucky. They're simply the ones who got ready while the weather was still mild and the shelves were still full. So tell me down in the comments, what's your own go-to trick for beating the heat, and which of these are you going to grab first? Share it, because your tip might be exactly what keeps another senior safe this summer. Take good care of yourself, stay cool, and I'll see you in the next one.